Hello, this is Professor Alexander coming to you live from the Hood to Higher Education Studio. And today we're going to talk about active reading. This is chapter 7 in your workbook. I will be uploading questions as always at the end of the lecture. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. And remember, it does take a village. Gotta have my tea in the morning. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. This is chapter 7, active reading. We're going to talk about some of the learning objectives for today. That's to identify the importance of active reading, identifying the differences in various reading systems, identify the various reading strategies, and to identify the various strategies for building a better vocabulary. We are also going to identify strategies for succeeding in a language course or foreign language course. Identify the strategies for reading technical material and manuals and completing forms. We're going to identify strategies for overcoming reading obstacles. Comprehension and interpretation are two things that you have to develop a mastery around if you are going to understand the material that you are reading. The ability to understand the main ideas and details as they are written is a term that we refer to as comprehension. Interpretation means developing ideas of your own and being able to summarize the material in your own words. Now we're going to talk about reading systems. Okay, there is a 5-part reading system, and you may want to take notes on this because it may come up in our discussion questions. It may come up on a quiz. The 5-part reading system is to prepare, preview, predict questions, process information, paraphrase, and review. That is the 5-part reading system. That is prepare. What are we doing to prepare ourselves? That might be reading the table of contents. That might be reading the preface. Preview. Previewing the earlier table of contents, the chapters. Predict questions. Process information. Paraphrase and review. The SQ3R reading system. This is a reading system that will help you remember and comprehend what you're reading. The SQ3R reading system first is to survey, question, read, recite, and review. So determining your purpose, setting reading goals, concentrating on your material, creating an outline, identify keywords and concepts, make connections, talking with your author, and compare notes. These are overall reading strategies. The overall reading strategies are take frequent breaks, integrating learning styles, use extra text. That might be logging onto your computer and taking notes alongside of it, or the extra text on the side of the textbook that's provided, using that for notes, using technology, smartphone, laptop. We have a lot of things at our disposal at this day and age, so use technology to enhance. A 4th reviewing strategy is to read and review often. Build your vocabulary. Observe your words, your habits. Be creative and articulate. Also, associate yourself with articulate people. It's good to have conversation with philosophers or lecturers or literary folks, people that teach literature, or your peers that are into literature classes, because you're going to expand your vocabulary that way. Look up words you don't know. Write down new words. These are all things that are going to enhance your vocabulary. Practice mentally. Practice in conversation. Read widely. Okay, and that means like read across disciplines. That might not be a subject that you're completely interested in, but you'll learn from that. So if you are a business major and you want to read about anthropology, this is going to expand your worldly knowledge. Look up look up cues, look up common word parts that might be connected to other things. This is going to help expand comprehension and retention. Review great speeches. Invest in a vocabulary book. These are all going to be things that can potentially help you in developing your vocabulary. So that you have these are things that you have to keep practicing. So, foreign language courses. Do your practice exercises. This is going to help expand you learning another language. Keep up with your reading. Carry note cards with you. Recite them out loud. Form study teams. Listen to recordings. Model and tutor. But most importantly, have fun. And we have a lot of apps out there for language courses like Babbel, Duolingo. You want to take advantage of those because this is just going to expand your learning. Specialized reading comprehension and technical materials. So read each element, the graphic title, accompanying captions. This is going to help you learn what that current content is about. Read the column titles. I read everything from the preview, from the preface to the about the author to what the book is about. It just helps me understand the material that I'm trying to take in. Comprehending technical material. Other things you could do is read labels or symbols and their keys, usually provided at the bottom on the graph. Sometimes it's on the left, sometimes it's at the bottom. Read those. Read the data, the percentages, the total figures. These are all going to help you with comprehending difficult text and technical material. Number 3 says, for comprehending technical materials, identify the purpose of the graphic. Is it demonstrating similarities or differences, increases or decreases, comparisons or changes? These are all things that we need to understand. What are we looking at? Number 4 says, see the connection between the topic of the graphic and the chapter or section topic in which it appears. Explain in your own words the information depicted on the graphic. This is important. Whenever we can put things in our own words, it just helps us retain that information that much longer. Number 6 is share your interpretation of the graphic with your study group members. Do they feel your interpretation is clear and on target? Like any reading material, check the source for dates, author, credentials, related research, etc. For specialized reading and reading manuals, compare the description with what you received and make sure all the pieces are there. Follow the step-by-step installation or assembly instructions. Go to the index and look up keywords related to problems you encounter or specific tasks you want to do. Number 4 is look at online at the company's website or do an online search. Read the frequently asked questions, select section of the manual, record access codes and other important information in the manual. Overcoming obstacles is create a positive attitude, reading short segments. You got to take breaks, folks. Okay. Studies have shown that the longer, if we're studying for hours on end, the ability to retain information, it may decrease if we don't take these short breaks. So read for about an hour and take a stretch break. Read while they sleep. You know, they always say, wow, Other people are out performing or working on their craft. You want to be working on yours while they are sleeping. Take reading with you. Take it to the grocery store. Take it to the gym. Read to your children. Not only do they enjoy that, but it's going to help you retain that information for that test or quiz or for that essay. Couple of noteworthy websites that I want you to check out is flashlightworthybooks.com. Invaluable information that you can pick up from Flashlight Worthy. Lit Lovers is for my literature lovers. Lit Lovers is an online book community. Book Movement Book Club resources. So that website is bookmovement.com. Any type of tools, any type of websites that we can have at our disposal, we just want to add them to our toolbox. So that is it for chapter 7. I want you to go back and reflect on how you are as a reader. How do you interpret? How do you comprehend? And add that piece to what you're going to do, what you're trying to develop. What are the areas you need to work on? Remember, the lack of concentration is a major barrier to effective reading. It is common to experience. It is common to experience to realize that after reading a chapter, your mind has wandered and you cannot recall the information you just read. So don't be judgmental or force yourself to read the same material several times. If I were in a face-to-face class, I would discuss with you the strategies for staying alert, the positive attitude that we could take, staying actively involved as a reader. One of the ones that we mentioned was getting up and taking walks. You may want to address your posture, your study area. Is your study area quiet? How tired are you when you're reading? Someone will probably be a better reader if all of these areas are addressed. If reading in bed works for you, fine. But if it doesn't, then we need to reevaluate our study area. So just reflect on how you are as a reader. And we always have to try to work to improve on that. Again, this has been chapter 7. I am Professor Alexander. And folks, we always got to remember that we're not in this alone. It takes a village. Peace.